I think the biggest obstacle for men is women, for sure. Figuring out how they talk, figuring out how to respect yourself, and it's not a sufficient payment. It's not a payment at all because you're actually taking away from me. You're taking my life force, my energy, my time, my focus that I need to be the best version of myself. If you was to take away her ass and her titties, what value does she really have? You know what I'm saying? Like it says, looks doesn't mean anything. It doesn't make me better than what I already am by myself. I think nice guys are actually, I can show you that I'm the most genuine person in the world. There's still gonna be some people that just don't like you. You know what I'm saying? Like they didn't like Jesus. But I think that maybe some people may have not heard it. It's like definitely got my
Can you tell us a little bit about like how you got into coaching and like what kind of coaching that you do?
Yeah, I got into coaching because I realized like the best way to for God to bless you is when you help other people. I notice when you help other people and you genuinely care about bringing them up with you, you just attract more blessings. You know what I'm saying? And I also understand how it feels to be in the beginning of a video game and you have no guidance. No one wants to help you. Everyone's gatekeeping and you don't have anybody who's actually genuine that really wants to help you. I understand that feeling very well because it was like that for me in the very beginning. And I always said that when I got into a position, I would help those people too. So now that I know the game and I understand how to win, you know, it's just like, oh, if these people are, no matter what, for these over 8 years have been rocking with me, no matter what the I do, no matter what the choice I make, it's only right that I give back, you know, so.
So, okay, I love that. When you're coaching, like what are some things that you teach your, what do you call them, students, or do you have like a name for your?
Yeah, it's really a brotherhood. You know what I'm saying? I just call it brotherhood, but I'll call it students. I'll call it more so clients, you know, but what I teach them is how to get in shape, how to get the right mindset to create the right habits for success, because it's all about habits. And then also how to make money on social media, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram. So I think that's the key components of being a man is being focused, having the right habits, being in shape, and then also learning how to make a lot of money and being your own boss, being in control, being the captain of your own destiny. You know, a lot of guys are so lost with that shit. So it's just, and I was too at one point. So it's like, you know, now that I figured it out, might as well just teach y'all too, you know? So.
For sure. Can you tell us like a story of your most challenging student that you've had and why he was so challenging and what you did to help him succeed?
Yeah, I'm not gonna say his name, but
yeah, you don't have to say his name.
Yeah, I'm not gonna say his name, but it was an older guy. You know, he was like in his 40s, and you know he was getting beat by a girl for a very long time, and he realized it, but he was too scared to be who he truly was and express his actual values, and the girl just ran him into the ground, drained him of all his money, drained him of all his self-esteem, drained him of everything. And, you know, he came to me, he was like, bro, I see you you living the way you live in, you know what I'm saying? This, that, like, I need to, like, and she broke up with me after 6-7 years of her up. And now she went and dealt with another nigga, just left me, and I feel like shit, and I feel worthless and this and whatever. So then I walked him down like a whole journey of first creating the habits, first going to the gym, first doing the things that are going to make him have the inner confidence that is unbreakable and unreplicable. You know what I'm saying? So that way he builds a certain level of self-respect for himself to where girls aren't sitting there disrespecting him. And if they do, then he puts a stop to it right then and there instead of letting it drag out because he's so focused on put. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, but the only reason why guys let themselves get to that point is because they don't have the right habits and they don't do the right things that they know that they should be doing. And then so they don't have the inner trust that allows them to, you know what I'm saying, have the aura that makes other people respect them without them saying anything. And so, you know, if you don't respect yourself, then no one else is going to respect you. So you need to do things that is going to make you respect yourself. And therefore the world will kind of mirror that to you. So I walked him down that path, told him to get in the gym, set goals for him. And, you know, he was doing that after I've had the group for about 7, 8, 9 months, I think, something like that, almost this entire year. And now at this point, he's making like 10 bands a month.
Wow.
And now he's a little bit more in shape. He's got more room, you know what I'm saying? But he's just more focused. You know, he talking about pimping. He talking about just, you know what I'm saying, keeping the girls that he's talking to in line. If they're not providing no value, he's not dealing with them. So, you know, it's dope to see. So it's dope to see his growth for sure.
I love that. Yeah. Do you think that a lot of the guys who join your group and, you know, seek your help, do you think majority of them are going through some type of breakup?
Of course.
So it kind of stems from that.
Of course. Of course. I think that I always say that, like, I think the biggest challenge for men is women. I think the biggest obstacle for men is women, for sure. Figuring out how they talk, figuring out how to respect yourself, figuring out how to get them to respect you, figuring out how to make them useful, figuring out how to put them in a position for them to, you know what I'm saying, be what God put men and women on this planet for. And I feel like a lot of guys don't know that, and rightfully so, because we've been propagated to think otherwise. You know,
How do you think that they've been taught to think?
we've been taught to think that we're supposed to be this Prince Charming, kiss your ass, provide, 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 provide. Well, this girl just sits there and does nothing because she's beautiful. No. If I'm the man who's supposed to provide for you and I'm supposed to take care of you and I'm supposed to lead you, you need to be helping me become the best version of myself so that way I can provide for everybody, whether it's our kids, you, whatever. You can't just be sitting here and taking and not bringing anything back. And is not a sufficient payment. It's not a payment at all because you're actually taking away from me. You're taking my life force, my energy, my time, my focus that I need to be the best version of myself. So if you're going to be doing that, you need to be helping and supporting me. You can't be sitting there expecting me to take you on dates and doing this and then when you're not doing anything for me. You know what I'm saying? So that's really what it is. It's and also girls biologically don't respect a man who just completely disregards his purpose too and sacrifices that for them. They might like it in the beginning, but eventually they're going to lose respect for this dude. And then they're going to go for the who is on his purpose. You know, and that's what got a lot of guys up, including me at one point before I knew this game. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, damn, I did everything. I gave this girl all my time, all my attention, everything. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, the first few weeks are great. She loves it. And then she gets bored because she's like, damn, this is not as valuable as I thought it was. You know what I'm saying? He doesn't even really know me that much. And he just really just completely sacrifices his entire purpose and his mission for me. So now, how valuable can this dude be? You know what I'm saying? He doesn't care about himself enough. He doesn't respect himself enough. And like I said earlier, if you don't respect yourself, then no one else is going to respect you. So
in your coaching, when you're talking to these guys, what do you tell them to look for specifically in a woman?
How much does she like you? How much does she really like you? Okay, does she like you the way you like yourself? If you look in the mirror, if you envision your highest version of yourself and the way that man, what his habits are, what he does, you know what I'm saying, who he does, what he accepts, what he doesn't accept, how much money is he making, this, if you envision that version of yourself, okay, does she look at you like that? No? Cool. Then you don't want that girl because one, if she likes you, she's gonna do whatever the hell you need her to do. Second thing I would say is like, how is she useful? What is she bringing to the table? How is she going to make you better? How is she going to make your life easier than what it is when you're by yourself? And I asked them that. If you was to take away her ass and her titties, what value does she really have? And most of the time, they don't have anything to say because a lot of these girls, unfortunately, they bring no value. But the reason why they think they do is because most of these buster asses take as a payment. So these girls get big-headed and they think that they can just keep walking around and just literally sitting there and not bring anything else but to the table. But if they run into a guy who actually respects himself and makes them stand up to something, now that guy's an asshole. When in reality, he's just the person who respects themselves, you know? So, you know, that's what I tell these guys, is just to really break down what value is she really bringing. A lot of these guys are so quick to call a girl a bad bitch. Okay, how is she a bad bitch if she's making your life worse? How? You know what I'm saying? Why? Because she's got a fat ass? That doesn't make any sense. So, you know, I just feel like the underlying issue is, you know, the perspective of what a bad bitch truly is. To me, a girl who is a 6 visually can be a bad bitch if she's helping me make more motherfucking money, if she's submissive to me, if she's nice to me, you know what I'm saying? If she's a pleasant person to get, if she's coachable, like if she's always there when I need her, and then, you know what I'm saying? Like, at some point, if you want to upgrade her visually, get her some, you could do that. You know what I'm saying? Like it says, looks doesn't mean anything. It doesn't make me better than what I already am by myself. So I feel like, you know, the whole bad thing, the definition of that is what guys need to change for themselves. But I feel like it all starts with how much you respect yourself. If you're not going to the gym, if you're not focused on your purpose, if you don't have the right habits, if you don't, you know what I'm saying, if you don't have boundaries and enforce those boundaries, you're not going to respect yourself, no matter how much you try to convince yourself that you should respect yourself. And when you think that way and you move that way and you act that way and you're insufficient in those ways, it's going to come off in your aura, whether you verbally say it or not. And then people are going to feel that because we're energetic beings and they're going to respect you the same way you respect yourself. The universe is a mirror to who you are. You know what I'm saying? So it's just, it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? But a lot of guys don't want to put in the work that it takes to get to that point. So
Would you say that that's the most important topic in your teaching?
yes, because it's the art of war. It's the art of war. If you can understand yourself, then you can understand other people. If you can understand why you do the things you do, why there's a lack of self-respect, why there's a lack of, you know what I'm saying, hard work, why there's a lack of discipline, okay? You can then start to actually change. But if you're so unaware to it and you think that you're working hard when you're really not, if you think that you're going to the gym on time when you're not, if you think you're eating the right food when you're not, if you think that you're cutting out the vices when you're not, okay, then you're never going to get to where you need to go. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, but a lot of people have convinced themselves that they don't have a problem. You know what I'm saying? I know it's a cliche saying, but it's like the first step to fixing a problem is admitting that you can have one. And a lot of people think that they're too good to admit that they have a problem. I don't mind knowing if I have a problem. You know what I'm saying? I've never have. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, I feel like that alone, being able to accept that you have a problem is what separates me from a lot of people.
For sure.
You know? Because if you know there's a problem, now you understand that it's you and only you that can change. But if you're constantly convincing yourself that there's not an issue, you're never going to change. So
I hear you talk a lot, you know, about being a high value man. And like,
I hate that term, by the way.
You hate it?
Yeah, I hate that term.
Like, but people, when they hear that term, they something clicks to them. They want to become that, a high value man, right?
I just hate the term high value man.
So what else would you call it?
I would just say a man that respects himself. Mm-hmm. I would just say a man of integrity. That's what I would say. You know, a man of integrity.
What makes you not like the term high value man?
Because I feel like it's an oversaturated term that is used by a lot of these red pill goofballs that really aren't actually high value. A lot of people, like, they base their value as a man off of how much money they make, what tangible items they have, and things like that. I don't think that's truly high value. I think a man who is high value is a man who has boundaries and he respects himself, and he respects himself through his actions. You know what I'm saying? He takes care of his body. He, you know what I'm saying? He trains his mind. He reads books. He educates himself, and he's constantly working on his purpose. And he's constantly focusing on being the man that's aligned with God, the man that God called him to be. You know what I'm saying? And then as the other tangible things like money, the cars, you know what I'm saying, the lifestyle, all that comes with the man who already respects himself like that. Because I know a lot of people, a lot of men who are broke, but they respect the fuck out of themselves, so girls fall in line. Do you know what I'm trying to say? So it's just like, you know, I think there's a lot of high value men who make a lot of money and have a lot of subscribers and a lot of this and a lot of that, but they're really some ass niggas behind closed doors. So it's like, are you really high value? You sitting there paying a girl for her fucking attention. Okay, does she actually like you for you? Does she like you for your actual values? Does she like you for your real leadership? If you didn't have any money, would she still be fucking with you? Probably not, because you're a fucking loser. So, you know what I'm saying? Is that really high value? So I don't know. I don't think that makes you high value. That's why I don't like the term, because I feel like it's a really oversaturated thing, you know?
How do you feel about the term nice guy?
What you mean, how I feel about it?
Like, you've said before, nice guys finish last. What do you mean by nice guy?
A nice guy is a guy who thinks that by supplicating to a woman what he thinks a woman wants is going to get him what he wants. I think nice guys are actually the assholes. I think they're the real assholes.
Really?
Yes. Because you being a nice guy is you trying to mask who you really are, the way you think, the way you actually move, what you really want, because you want to f this woman. And then when she does, let's say you successfully make that happen and the woman f you because you portrayed this person that you're really not, and then you just discard. Now you lied to this woman. Now she resents you and you want to say it's her fault, but you lied. You painted a picture to this person, to this woman, that you were this person who thought this way because you knew that that's what she would like. You got what you wanted and then you left. So there's a hidden agenda behind being a nice guy. If I'm someone who tells you exactly what the f I am from the very beginning, and then I'm not afraid if you leave or not, I think I'm not the actual nice guy. I think I'm the actual genuine person because now I'm giving you the choice to whether or not you want to be here. Does that make sense?
It does make sense.
And I feel like you never, I think with women, the number one thing, and correct me if I'm wrong, I think the number one thing is like knowing that they can trust you, knowing that you're not a liar. I think that a lot of women would actually be okay with a lot of things if they knew that you were always going to keep it 100 with them.
What do you think like are some things that women would be okay with if you kept it 100?
Like if you're a man who say, look, baby, I'm not going to be available to you all the time. I'm going to be 1000% devoted to my work. And when I do hang out with you, it's going to be a very quality time. But I'm not going to be able to sit there texting you all motherfucking day. I'm not going to be, if you call me, I'm not always going to answer. But I can promise you that when we do hang out, it's going to be a beautiful time. It's going to be quality as hell. Okay? Instead of sitting there saying that, nah, baby, I'm going to text you. Or like if, I'm going to be calling you all the time. I'm going to be texting you all the time. And then when you're actually trying to follow up with what this person's saying, and then they're making excuses constantly, I think that's what deteriorates the trust. Because you're telling this person something and you're doing something else. You're saying, but if you keep it 100 with this person, they can't get mad at you. They might not like what you're saying, but at least they respect you. And I think respect is the number one thing. You know, women are emotional creatures. They don't have to like what you're saying, but I feel like if a woman can respect you, then you go way further. Because most men don't tell the truth. Does that make sense? There's another thing too. I think that if a certain man who has done a lot for a woman and has always kept his word and has always been genuine and has always never lied to her, I think a lot of women will be more accepting if the man says he doesn't want to be in a monogamous relationship. You know, maybe he says, look, you're my girl and you're the one who's going to be taking on trips. You're the one who's going to get all my time. You're the one who's going to get all my energy, but I might f- on the side. And he says that from the first day. I think the girl has a choice to whether or not if she continues to fuck with this man, then now you create a relationship where you get to be yourself and you also get to keep it 100 with her. And she's also aware. She's not feeling like she's being led astray. You know what I'm saying?
Have you ever said that to a girl?
Yes, of course.
How did they take it?
And they liked it at first. They didn't like it. They didn't necessarily like it, but they respected it. And then the relationship at some point, the girls, they're not able to handle it. And then they just kind of discard.
I mean, it's hard for a girl to handle. Mm-hmm. Do you think that it's harder for a girl to handle than a guy? Like, let's say a girl came up to you and was like, hey, babe, like, I really like you. You're going to be my main guy. But like, I do want to fuck guys on the side.
It's not the same.
It's not.
No.
Why?
Because you could walk down the street right now and say, I want to and 20 years are going to line up. If I go down the street and say, I want to I'm probably going to get arrested. You know what I'm saying? So what's easily attainable isn't respected. Does that make sense? So by me being a man who can a lot of women, that means I'm doing something right in life. A fat bitch can 20 niggas today easily if she wanted to. Does that make sense? So it's like by you sitting there saying, oh, you're going to be my main guy, but I'm going to you're a whore. I don't want nothing to do with you. But in order for a man to even be able to fuck a bunch of women, you have to be a high caliber man in some way, shape, or form. Whether you're disciplined, there has to be something likable about you. Whether you're disciplined, whether you're focused, whether you're making a lot of money, whether you're successful, whether you're a leader, whether you have the right habits, there has to be something about you in order for you to even be able to get a lot of women. Because a lot of women, they only want the top 10% of men. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's a very small percentage of men. So it's like, if you're not in that category, you're not getting this. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, if you're a man who does get, I think innately women know, okay, there's got to be something about this guy that makes women want to be around him so much. Does that make sense? So, and unfortunately, it's not unfortunate for us, but unfortunately, in the eyes of like the way the world works and biologically, a man's value is raised when he's able to attract a lot of women. A woman's value deteriorates when she's constantly giving herself to a bunch of men. You know, I think a woman's way more valuable when she knows her worth and she's like, I'm not finna f a man unless he's doing something for me. Why the f would I give up my body and make myself less valuable for a man who's not worth my time and worth my energy and worth my body? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So like, you know how you were saying like, okay, so the type of girl that you would want for sure would be a girl who just doesn't sleep around and who knows her value and is that? I don't want to say high value, so I'm trying to say
I get it.
But wouldn't that be all that you would want? Or why would a guy still want to go and have sex and, with other girls if he has that kind of top tier, if that makes sense? I'm trying to stay away from the
No, I get you. I understand what you're saying. The reason why is because men can another woman and still love the out of one girl. That's just how we are. I could love the out of you. I could be willing to die for you. But then I could just go and bust a nut like as if I'm just taking a piss down the street with this other girl. This woman, I could another woman and not give a single about this. I could go her and still be like, I love the out of you. You know what I'm saying? Because you have shown me that you're actually someone that gives a about me, that actually wants to help me, that actually wants to make me the better version of myself, that has been there for me every time I needed you. You know what I'm trying to say? You're actually feminine. You actually do the things that I require that a woman to do for me. You know, most women aren't going to do that. Most women aren't going to do that. You know, you're not going to get this woman, all these women that I'm aren't going to get the same benefits as you. They're not going to be put on the pedestal that I put you on because they're not going to do the things that make you valuable in my eyes. You know? So unfortunately, like, even if it even says in the Bible, men aren't just like innately we're just not monogamous creatures. That's a societal thing. You know, naturally, we're not monogamous creatures. Most men are only monogamous because they have to be. They don't have the choice.
Do you think, though, that it is possible for a guy to just be monogamous? And I'm really asking.
I think it's possible. But I think most men, if they had the choice to be able to whoever they would, 100%.
And then still keep them.
Yes. And I think that also, this is another thing for me at least, is that it takes a long time and a lot of work and a lot of betrayal and a lot of pain and a lot of late nights and early mornings and years of ups and downs for a man to become the version of himself that attracts a lot of women and makes a lot of money and becomes super, I hate the term, high value, okay? For him to even be able to have the variety of women that he can choose from like that. It takes a long time. Whereas women have that from the get-go. So if you were able to just have all these options and these invites and, you know what I'm saying, and, being invited or, being in these rooms and, getting these benefits and getting paid and getting attention and getting here and just for existing, and I had to literally slave to get to this point for you to even notice me, why the would I only be you? That's not even fair. Do you know what I'm saying? So, and I feel like women will never know that because they never have to put in the work to get the benefits that we have to work so hard to even get. Does that make sense? So I just feel like, the least you could do, if I'm going to give you my benefits of being with a man like me, I might want to every now and then. But she's not going to get the attention that you get. She's not going to get the flights. She's not going to get the genuine leadership and being elevated mentally, spiritually, physically, financially. She's not going to get my time and my attention. She's not going to be, portrayed as my queen. She's not going to be getting all these intangible benefits. She's just not, because I don't care about this, But, that's, I think, what it is for a lot of men, too. I know for me, for sure.
And I think it's hard for a lot of girls to wrap their head around that sometimes. Maybe like the high value, quote, girl that you're looking for, like you would probably expect her to be okay with that. And I'm sure that you found that before, right?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think it's all about just being honest. I think a lot of men, like I said, like they're just afraid that they're going to lose a girl if they're keeping it honest. And most of the times they are. But I'm not afraid of that because, a girl is not going to get me any further than I can get myself. So if I choose to have a girl on my journey, you have to be helping me out or else you're going to be slowing me down. So I'm honestly looking to tell you the truth from the very beginning as a filtration system, because if you accept that, then I know you're supposed to be on my team. If you're not, if I tell you who I am and I show you, if I'm 150% myself from the very beginning, and you still with me, then you're supposed to be on the team. If you don't, then you're not supposed to be here. And I think a lot of men would avoid a lot of bullshit if they kept it 100. The reason why they run into a bunch of problems is because they showed this woman or this person a certain version of themselves that they're not, And then later on, the woman starts acting out, and then they're getting mad at the girl. It's like, you weren't keeping 100. And I think that also stems from a lot of people they're afraid to be alone. You know, they're afraid to be alone. And a lot of men also base their value on how bad the woman that they're with is, or how many women they can get, you know? That's not, I mean, I'm not saying that I've never been that person, but I'm not now. Right. And so it's just like, it's just, I feel like at some point, a lot of men need to grow up. They need to make that mentality change, bro. Like I said, like even with my student, like there's a lot of grown ass men out there who never grow out of it. They never grow out of it. So it's like they need someone to sit there and tell them, hey, wake the fuck up, you know? So, I mean, you know, that 40-year-old virgin shit, like I ain't gonna lie, coaching has really opened my eyes. There's a lot of losers out there. There's a lot of niggas who are old and still act like a fucking adolescent teenager, you know? So I'm sure you know, you're a beautiful woman yourself. You know what I'm saying? I'm sure you ran into older men who are just lost, you know what I'm saying? And that you can't really respect. So, you know.
Well, I always think that the best way to be a coach or, you know, a sponsor, someone who people look up to is if you have had mind changes and if you've gone through a lot to get to that point, because then you have a lot of experience that you can really, you know, people changing. So, you know, I'm sure there has been a lot of mindset changes that you've gone through.
Yeah.
And, you know, to evolutionize to the mindset that you have now.
Yeah.
And you'll probably change a lot more in the future. You really never know.
Of course.
So I think a lot of people will think that, oh, you know, your type of thinking never changes, right? Because like you know, people might think that it's hard for somebody to say their opinion because you have such a strong opinion for what you believe.
Yeah.
But really, your opinion probably does change a lot in order to get to where it is now. That makes sense.
Yeah.
So
I would say my base opinion doesn't change. I would just say it just gets tweaked. It just gets optimized for higher success. That's what I think it is. I don't think the base values change.
Hi. Hello. What is going on? Hi, lady.
Hello.
Hey. How are you? Good. Oh, you're warm.
I am warm.
Keeping me cozy. We were just in the middle of an interview. What do you
Yeah, what the fuck? Why'd y'all crash my shit like that?
We wanted to come hang out and see what you're doing.
You don't even know me. Why would you care? Why would you care about what I'm doing?
We want to find out what's going on in here.
Hey guys, thank you so much for 400,000 subscribers. We have so much more content coming, so make sure to like and subscribe. Bye.